Perceptions can harm and hurt everyone. You know what they say, assuming makes an ass out of you and me. I'm Madeline May, and today is the day where we crack some misconceptions, or maybe even support them. Reagan Gray is on the topic of stereotypes in Greek life. Aubrey Goad is coming at you with companion animals and personal well-being. Rebecca Kaiser is breaking down social media associated with self-esteem. And I'm exposing how society seems to be trending with the unknowns in electronic cigarettes. Reagan, you're on board with Greek life. Give us what you have.
When people think of Greek life, they might picture the stereotypes, like drinking, partying, hazing, but is that truly accurate? After asking non-Greek and Greek-affiliated students at Ball State University, this is what I learned, that the non-Greek students and the Greek students felt very differently about this topic. The non-Greek students felt that Greek life really did not have much of a positive effect on this campus at all, and were exactly like their stereotypes, but the Greek students felt the opposite way. But according to Carrie Murphy, who is the Assistant Director of Student Life for Ball State University, who is directly in charge of Greek life, when interviewed, she stated that academically, the all-Greek GPA was a 2.979, which surpassed the all-BSU GPA of 2.942. This is the 20th consecutive semester that the all-Greek GPA is higher than the all-campus GPA. Also, 14.25% of the campus is Greek, but last semester alone, Greeks raised $89,274.59 for charities, donated 585 pounds of food, and completed 31,811.27 community service hours. So overall, the results do show that Greek life is having a positive effect on this campus.
So do the negative perceptions inside Greek life differ from the people on the outside?
Yes, the non-Greek students talked about the very typical stereotypes when it comes to Greek life for the negatives. For example, 24% of respondents said something along the lines of fraternity men being douchebags and sorority women being bitches. The same percent also said that partying was a large issue. 12% say there's a feeling of failure if you don't get into the sorority or fraternity you want during the recruitment season, and also 12% say that you are paying for your friends. And then lastly, 20% said the cost in general was a huge problem to them. But when it came to the Greeks' negatives, they talked about things such as 26% said that there might be a slight distraction from school because of the large time commitment, and the same amount said that the fact that they felt judged negatively and were stereotyped by the non-Greeks. 14.3% said the rules were annoying. 10.7% said that the cliques were a problem in their organization. 7.1% said the cost was a shock to their wallet at first, but then after a while, the benefits outweighed those costs. And 7.1% also said that Greek life might be shallow just a slight bit, especially during the recruitment and rush season. And 3.5% said there was nothing negative to say.
So I'm assuming the positives differ as well?
Yes, this is also true. For the positives from the non-Greeks, 12.5% said that the focus on grades was very important, and they thought that was a very large benefit for Greek life. 25% agreed that philanthropy and the feeling of belonging were positives. 37.5% said that making friends and the involvement on campus was beneficial. But unfortunately, there was 12.5% of the people that said that there was no positives coming from Greek life. But from the Greeks, they had lots of positives to say, including 24% of responders agreed that the friendship was a huge plus from joining their Greek organization. 6.1% said the focus on their organizations put on grades were very helpful. 10.2% said they love the volunteer and philanthropy opportunities they get from being in Greek life. 8.2% said the connections they will make will help them outside of college as well as in. 22.4% said they love the sense of family they get from the brotherhood or sisterhood from their chapters. 14.3% agreed that the leadership opportunities are a huge positive. 4.1% agreed that the values are very important to them. And 14.3% say being involved in something bigger than themselves is a plus to Greek life. But you know what they say. From the outside looking in, you don't understand it. But from the inside looking out, you can't explain it.
Excellent. Cracking down on perceptions. Aubrey Goad, it's your turn. You're talking about companion animals, and I'm curious to know more.
Okay, so have you guys ever been really upset and just cuddled up and made your pet play with you or something?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, see, companion animals are actually proven to aid in overall human health, even if they just are around to help keep you happy.
I love you.
I performed a study evaluating people's perceptions of companion animals and the benefits to their personal health.
Who are you specifying as benefiting from companion animals? Just people who need them?
Actually, companion animals can be for anyone. Some people believe that companion animals are just for the elderly people or people even with disabilities, but that's not always the case. Even though people with those types of ailments benefit, people from all walks of life are able to benefit from owning a companion animal. In my research, majority of people that had a companion animal suffered from anxiety and depression or just felt happier in life by owning a companion animal. These people were just like you and me, college students, all the way up to people that are our grandparents' ages.
In what ways do companion animals help these people?
Companion animals help people a lot with depression. I put my main focus on anxiety and depression for my study because I personally have suffered from these problems before. I have also experienced the benefit that my dog, Theo, provides me by keeping me less stressed, calm, and so on. This led me to ask people some more in-depth questions for my interviews. I asked people if they have ever had a traumatic event in their life where an animal has helped them, and all 6 of my interviewees said that their companion animal helped them overcoming depression from a divorce or a death in the family. Some people even claimed that their animals helped them to stay in shape by taking them on walks or playing with them.
Are you just talking about dogs and cats?
No, actually, some people in my survey said that they owned snakes and rabbits and felt that those pets helped them with their mental and emotional well-being as well. Only 2 people out of the 63 of my surveys claimed to have owned an animal other than a dog or a cat and said that their companion animal boosted their mood and helped to give them something positive to look forward to by having the responsibility of caring for them every day.
Now, Rebecca, you also are focusing on health effects from an outside source, but these effects might be a little more negative than Aubrey's, am I right? Social media.
Everyone and their grandma has a Facebook at this point. In fact, since 2015, they're up to nearly 1.25 billion active users. If everyone is doing it, it's gotta be good, right? Well, I'm actually finding that there are actually a lot of common negative perceptions that go along with social media use.
Oh yeah? So what exactly are people noticing that's negative about social media?
Well, Madeline, in my own research, I found that college students commonly think it can cause problems, such as a very low level of self-esteem, and maybe even the development of eating disorders. The students said that they believe this correlation between the media and others' negative self-esteem exists mostly because of comparisons people make with each other on Facebook. The majority of my students listed that their primary reason for using social media was simply to keep in touch with people. However, they believe that others are using it for negative purposes, such as to compare themselves with others or to gain acceptance from their peers.
Trang Pak is a grotesque little biatch.
Dawn Schweitzer is a fat virgin.
Amber D'Alessio, she made out with a hot dog.
While the majority admitted to being emotionally affected by social media, they also see it as beneficial.
So they think the media is bad for others, but it's okay for them.
Yes, that is pretty much what I found with my research. What was interesting was that when asked about their opinions of their own bodies, this sample of students' average response was a slightly above neutral level of satisfaction. But then when asked about any plans to lose weight in 2015, 62% of them admitted to wanting to shed some pounds. So there was some inconsistencies in the student responses for sure. My overall analysis of all my data helped me see that these students just don't want to admit what the media might be doing to them. They say they only use it for the positive reasons, but also they know that other students just like them are using it for negative ones. And they're acknowledging what the media is capable of. These negative perceptions of the media are just not stopping the average college student from using social media. The pros outweigh the cons, I guess, especially when you can't see the cons in your own life. Woo. Okay, Madeline, let's wrap it up with you.
All right, I heard this awesome quote.
Welcome to Applebee's. Vaping or non-vaping? I'm here with my children. Vaping, obviously.
Clearly, vaping and electronic cigarettes are becoming something to take note of. I remember first seeing one in a Five Guys restaurant. A man was smoking a vape pen right in his child's face. I about had a heart attack. Never before has it seemed like an acceptable thing to smoke in a baby's face. Since then, I've watched these electronic forms of smoking balloon among a younger population. But are they getting popular because people assume they are safe? I did a survey at Ball State to help decide this. Check it out. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being harmless, 5 being very harmful, the feelings were neutral. The possible risk and better not to smoke them categories both tied at 7 votes each. Only one person agreed that vaping is very harmful, and that skewed the data just slightly toward the side of harm. Now, digging deeper, 11 out of 17 of my surveyors specifically said that vaping is, quote, healthier than conventional smoking.
But tobacco is horrible. Vape pens don't have tobacco, so aren't they healthier?
Well, not necessarily. We don't really know. Yes, tobacco is awful to smoke, it should not cake our lungs, but nobody can actually figure out what is in a vape pen. By nobody, I mean scientists, researchers, your average Joe. There's no FDA regulations on them, no basis for the chemicals. Just because conventional smoking is bad for people doesn't make anything else good for them. There just isn't enough long-term research to decide all of the harmful side effects. There was once a time in America where everyone thought paper cigarettes were the greatest inventions. People didn't see the harm then.
How many of your people had ever tried a vape pen? Did they have first-hand experience?
I specifically chose a group of people who I know have either smoked vape pens, smoked conventional cigarettes, or have been in the vicinity of others smoking them. They either had first-hand or second-hand smoke exposure at some point from both tobacco, smoke, and vape. A majority of the participants noted that there is at least a second-hand smoke benefit with the vape. There isn't the harsh smell that tends to bother people for a variety of reasons, and researchers have not been able to determine that vaping causes any second-hand harm. I've been around both, and it's clear that tobacco smoke is more pungent than vape. That might add to people having the misconception that vaping is healthier than conventional smoking. So there, we've knocked out perceptions on Greek life from the Greeks and non-Greeks, how badly we actually need non-human companions, how social media is sneakily eating our souls, and how vaping may or may not be a killer trend. For Reagan Gray, Aubrey Goad, and Rebecca Kaiser, I'm Madeline May. Shout out to Nikki Baker.